This is actually a great time to discuss dicklet. Leave Dwayne and his skin alone. Leave Dwayne and his black, dark skin alone. I finally took it out from under the couch. I think the smell is gone now. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrienne. Today, we are starting SUMMERWEEN. SUMMERWEEN is a readathon hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads, where we read books that we may normally read during Halloween, during a different time period, like SUMMERWEEN. So I'm gonna read some horror, spooky books in the middle of summer, follow some of the prompts that they have, and bring you guys along with me while I do my reading. But I have to tell you, I am not the biggest fan of this year's prompts. I'll be honest, I don't want to read a slasher, and I don't want to read a book with haunt in the title. Like, those are so specific, those two prompts, that I just can't be bothered. So instead, I'm doing last year's SUMMERWEEN prompts for those two things that I don't like. The other ones I think are the same this year as they were last year. So these are the prompts that I'll be following. Read a book in the dark or at nighttime. Read a paranormal book. Read a horror. Read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. And bake or make a drink to go with your spooky read. Perfect. First off, for Halloween colors on the cover, Black Mad Wheel by Josh Malerman has orange and black. It doesn't look like Halloween, but it does have Halloween colors on it. This book is about, there's some crazy sound happening in the world that is just an incessant sound, and it follows a band who is recruited by the army to help find and stop this sound. No idea why or what that really means, but we'll find out together. And then for a paranormal book, I'm going to read The Supernatural Enhancements by Edgar Quintero. I bought this book so many years ago, but I didn't notice when I bought it that it smelled like smoke because I bought it from a used bookstore. And I hid it under the couch for years. And then I just haven't picked it up since I finally took it out from under the couch. I think the smell is gone now. I'll tell you what these books are about when I'm actually reading them. But this one involves a haunted house and puzzles of some sort. It's a horror, paranormal horror, I think. And the third book is going to be The Between by Tananarive Due. This book is, oh, my horror selection. This is a horror book. I don't know. There's some dark forces working against this man. Demons? I don't know if there's like literal demons or literal haunting. Something. I don't know. I'll tell you when I read it, but this is my horror pick. These are 3 books I'll be reading. I'm super excited to participate in this readathon and hopefully read all 3 books in a week. Good luck to me. This evening, I just got a knock on the door for my food that I ordered. Yay. And I'm just gonna hang out at home and clean up, maybe see if any of these are on audio so I can do other stuff while I read. And then I'm gonna also read some with my eyeballs because I haven't been reading at a 3-book-a-week pace recently, so I really need to get on it tonight, get something started. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video and thanks for watching. Hello. It's many hours later, and I've read a little bit. None of the books were available in my library for audiobooks. Like, the library doesn't even own them, so certainly not double purchasing books. Oh well, I'll be reading all of these with my eyeballs. I started Black Mad Wheel by Josh Malerman. I'm 2 chapters in. The book is set up in alternating chapters between present day, when our main character Philip wakes up in the hospital with basically every single bone in his body broken, and he can remember something that happened with his band in the desert and the sound. And then the past timeline is Philip and the Danes, which is his band. After they got back from World War II, they were army musicians, I don't know. But they get back from World War II in Detroit, Michigan, and they are writing music, producing music for other people, partying, and I'm just like, what am I reading? What am I reading? But my history with Josh Malerman. I enjoyed Bird Box, who didn't? But then last year I read Unbury Carol, which when I started reading that, I was like, am I reading a Western? It was a Western, and I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was, I don't know, it was just addicting to read. I was enjoying it so much. So, although I'm questioning everything right now, I'm gonna give him a very good chance. I mean, I'm gonna read it because I bet I'll like it, even though it has a 3.29 on Goodreads, which for Goodreads, a 3.29 is trash. I mean, very, very bad. But then I looked up Unbury Carol, and that book has a 3.34 average rating, which I gave 5 stars. So maybe the fact that it's lowly rated on Goodreads is a good sign, because maybe I'll love it as much as I loved Unbury Carol. I mean, one could only hope. I'm gonna go to bed. Day 1 of the readathon, I read 14 pages. I'm gonna read more in bed, but let's be real, not much. So yeah, this weekend I'm gonna be kind of busy. It's my sister's birthday and she has multiple events planned. Then I also have to like finish getting her a gift tomorrow and pick up balloons. We're getting our nails done in the morning. We have a dinner. We're going ziplining Sunday. So it should be a fun weekend, and I'm gonna bring you along with that. So I hope you enjoy just watching me live my life as I read these books, because that's what I like to share. So anyways, end of day 1. Good evening. It is now day 2 of the readathon. It is Saturday. I went this morning with some gals to get my nails done. Did not expect them to turn out Barbie pink, but they're fine. Now I went and picked up balloons for my sister's birthday dinner, which is at 6:30. And I stopped to get my sister some more stuff for her present in the gift bag. I need to wrap that up, and I need to do some other things before I start getting ready. But I'm really sleepy, so I'm gonna read some of my book and drink some tea because I don't want to take a nap on accident. So yeah, let's get some more reading done. I fell asleep reading last night and I'm very much enjoying this book. Hello, I'm getting ready to go to my sister's birthday dinner, and I'm loving Black Mad Wheel. I am 70 pages in, which there probably won't be much more reading this evening, and I'm only 70 pages into the readathon at the end of day 2, so that's not good. But I'm loving the book. I feel just like I did when I was reading Unbury Carol. Like, it's intriguing enough that I want to pick it up right now, which is why it sucks I don't have the audiobook, but too bad for me. The show must go on. So I've learned a bit more about what the book is actually about. So the band, I told you, was in World War II. So the past storyline, sometime after that, and the present storyline is maybe 1957 or something, but I think the two storylines are very close together. So we're in the 50s, okay? That's all I can tell you. A military secretary general, maybe, comes to see the band at their studio. It's a few years after they returned from the war, and he asks them if they will go to Africa for 2 weeks to try to find this sound in the desert, and there have been 2 platoons that have went out already, and they came back unsuccessfully, but they did come back. There are 4 band members, and the Army is offering them $100,000 each to do this 2-week mission, which should make you say no right there, because that's a lot of money for 2 weeks. So of course they're going to say yes, or there'd be no book. The secretary plays them the sound from a recording, and they lose it. They just lose it. The one guy's just like throwing up repeatedly in his lap. One is like trying to walk around but has extreme vertigo. They're just like very, very, very affected by the sound, but they also kind of can't hear sound. But our main character, Philip, can hear something. He thinks he hears a chord. I don't know. But then it also seemed like the secretary, Philip was thinking like he could kind of hear a sound. He could hear a chord. And then when the recordings turned off, the secretary was like, Philip can hear a chord. And Philip says, I didn't say that out loud, I just thought it. So I'm just at the point where they've decided they're doing it. They're about to ship off. And we're also, the present day timeline when Philip is in the hospital with every bone in his body broken, but he seems to be healing quickly. And we're following this nurse who's been taking care of him, and she works at this hospital that Philip's in. We're like, I don't know anything about the other patients, but it seems like every patient that comes in is like messed up, super mysterious ailments. I don't know. I am just loving it. I'm so intrigued by both storylines, and I feel like the Josh Mallerman is switching which storyline we're following at just the right time, which obviously that's every author's intent. But I just feel like he's doing it just the right time for me, because it's not too long in either one. So I'm just so intrigued with both and never upset when we switch. And I just want to read my book. Wait, I forgot to tell you a key part about the sound. Why the military is involved. What's this hair doing? Oh no. But the military is involved because this sound rendered a nuclear bomb useless. It basically like zapped the nuclear power from it, and then the soldiers who were near the sound, their guns stopped working. So that is why the military is involved, and very interested in finding and stopping the sound, finding out who's causing it, what's causing it, whatever. Okay, I think you're all caught up now. Happy birthday to you.
Ready, set, go.
Hello. I'm in terrible condition, so pardon me, but last night, birthday dinner, delicious. It was lots of fun. My sister had a bunch of her friends there. My boyfriend came, and then we went to one of my coworkers, her summer party. I think we got home at 1:30, maybe, or maybe that's what time we went to bed. And then I had to wake up early to be driven back home, and then get ready and go zip lining with my sister. And it was so much fun. I was drenched in sweat, so I came home, showered. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm starving. I'm trying to make something right now, but I'm so tired. Zip lining was so much fun, but exhausting, and I sweated so much. It was disgusting, but it's fun. And it was an obstacle course, and then like you zip line off at the end of it. So we did 2 courses. It was so much fun. but now I'm so tired. I think I'm gonna eat some food and then lay in my bed to read because I want to take a nap. I have really dropped the ball on Summerween, unfortunately. I've just been hanging out, not reading for days. And I was very tempted to just scrap the vlog, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to give up and send this to the vlog graveyard with my last 15 vlogs. So, first off, I finished Black Mad Wheel. 5 stars. It's not perfect by any means. It did leave some things to be desired, but I loved it. Like, I enjoyed it so much. It had an addicting quality that I don't find too often in books, where I just want to read it so badly. Even though I kept putting it down a lot, whenever I did pick it up, I don't know, I was so into it. But then I started getting scared of what was going to happen, so I stopped reading. This book isn't too scary. Well, not to me at least, just because I only get scared of things when I'm like, ooh, that could happen to me. But this was like a weird sound plaguing the world, going to Africa to find it in the army. I mean, not too worried about that. This book is very, very, very good. I don't think a lot of people would love it. Well, actually, I know it has terrible ratings on Goodreads, but it's so good. Oh my god, there's so many things going on, like outside of the sound. Following the nurse, the part in the hospital when Philip has all his broken bones, he's healing too quickly, the doctor is super sketchy, weird stuff's going on, and like I would be worried about something happening. Like, a scene would feel so intense and like so important, pivotal, a lot riding on something, but then 2 chapters later you're like, oh, now I'm so worried about this other thing. Like, that was nothing. So it's very fun. Did that even make sense? I don't know. The only thing that really annoyed me about this book was one of the bandmates of the Danes, so Philip's bandmate Dwayne, was black, and that seemed to be about his only trait. Like, Philip could not stop or should I say Josh Mallerman could not stop describing Dwayne as black, and that's just so stupid. Like, we didn't hear about anyone else's skin color, but it was like Dwayne held out his black palm, which, by the way, our palms are not black. He wiped the sweat from his black forehead. I don't know. Like, literally just kept pointing out his skin. Like, you aren't talking about anybody else's skin. Stop telling us Dwayne is black, please. His dark skin nearly blending with the shadows. Like, leave Dwayne and his skin alone. Leave Dwayne and his black dark skin alone. There was one night, and I was reading this in bed, and I was getting really annoyed with the black, oh, I ripped my front cover. I was getting annoyed with the black Dwayne stuff, and I was thinking, don't we all probably know that he's black anyways because his name is Dwayne? I just felt like I've never known of a Dwayne, a white Dwayne. So I was Googling it to see, like, how many white Dwaynes are there? How many white Dwaynes are there? And do you know what the name Dwayne means? It's Irish for black or dark. Josh Mallerman, stop it. Just let it go. But I'm not offended by it. I just think it's stupid. And it obviously didn't stop me from giving the book 5 stars or from reading everything Josh Mallerman writes in the future, which I know he's had like some other problematic things in books that I haven't read yet, so can't wait to see those. But anyway, since I've been dragging my feet on reading, you know, just not reading, I decided to change my TBR. I have listened to some of this week, just whenever I was in the car driving. I had the audiobook, and I wasn't doing it for this readathon, but now that I'm maybe 50 pages into the short book, I'm like, okay, this can be my paranormal read for this readathon, because I just don't have time to read another novel. So this is gonna be my paranormal book. I know it's not scary. It actually is. I mean, it's about the goblin market, so it is a little scary. This is book 4 in the Wayward Children series. This one follows Lundy, and she goes to the goblin market, and there's like strict rules and stuff, and it's really cool so far. I love stuff. Literally stuff. Buying things, markets, stores. Like I love magic markets, magic items, magic people selling their wares and things. So super big fan of the Goblin Market so far, just because I think this is my favorite world so far. Oh, so The Way We're Children is a book series that follows a bunch of different children who have went to magical worlds. So some of the books are set in our world and some of the books are set in the world that the children went to. So this one is in the Goblin Market. Loving it so far. I haven't been reading it much just because, one, I haven't been driving so much, but also because it wasn't for the readathon, so I was like not really focused on it and felt like a little guilty when I was listening to it since it wasn't for the readathon. I've started working from home recently and that has really affected my reading. Like I'm not listening to audiobooks because I'm not driving as much. I'm not at work where, you know, sitting in an office where I can't do other things besides listen to an audiobook for entertainment. Like now I can just have the TV on. Not good for my reading. So, anywho, I'm still gonna read the Supernatural Enhancements. But this evening, I'm going to go pick up food for my family and I'm gonna go over there to my sister's house. And I got some new games. You know, anytime I like something, I have to go overboard, i.e. the plants, i.e. the books. So I'm trying not to get too out of hand, but my next thing might be games. So I bought a couple new games to bring over to my sister's. Guillotine, which we played at somebody else's house a week or two ago, and then Sequence, which I've never played, never seen played, but I saw it on Amazon and it looked like fun. And also I love games that come in tins. We're gonna try these out and probably gonna take it to ride, and I'm gonna go get the food. And yeah, that's gonna be my evening, and back on track. I'm gonna be reading. Why do I keep saying like the most cliche things about the reading? Drop the ball, fell off track. I don't know, but let's get to reading, shall we? Good morning. Last night I got over halfway through In an Absent Dream. I'm enjoying it, and I've read 2 pages of the Supernatural Enhancements. So this morning, well, after I laid here for hours, woke up at 6:30, but wasted away. I just need to clean my apartment, do some laundry, and read. So I should be either cleaning or reading this morning. But my nephew's birthday party is this afternoon, and I have to pick up balloons first. Ooh, and I have to put his gift together. But I really need to like do dishes and laundry and like general cleaning, maybe some plant chores. So I should be listening to this audiobook while I do that and reading this when I need a break from cleaning. So this book is, I told you, it's Lundy in the Goblin Market world, and it's interesting because, so this world, some worlds let a child in one time and then if they leave they're gone forever. Some may let them back later, but this one, like, she knows she can come and go. And this book takes place when she goes to the world and when she leaves the world and is back in our world, and then when she goes to the world and then when she leaves the world. So like there's a lot of action that she fought the Wasp Queen or whatever. So we'll see like her day 1 or 2 back in the Goblin Market, but then next time we see her is when she goes back to our world and like we find out what happened. So it's interesting, like the action is off page. Like we just find out when she's ready to go, like what happened, how much she changed, and then like her planning to go back again. So I like it. Hello. I finished In an Absent Dream and I liked it. It may be, first off, I have to assemble my nephew's birthday present because it's almost time to leave. In an Absent Dream may be my favorite Wayward Children book so far, maybe. If you're wondering what children are into these days, That's all I have to say. An Absent Dream was a very good time. We know about the character Lundy's fate from the other books, but I didn't really remember much detail. So I was a little surprised by some things. Like I couldn't remember, I didn't know exactly what was gonna happen. And I definitely knew nothing about like the Goblin Market world. But it was very good, very fun. And yeah, I'm excited to keep reading the series. It definitely had some paranormal elements, so check that off the list. Like I also got him a zillion Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy themed stickers. So what am I gonna rate? Maybe In an Absent Dream 4 stars, which honestly is my highest rated book, The Wayward Children. I enjoy them. I don't love them, but I want to keep reading them because, I don't know, for me, I don't have to give a series or an author 5 stars to enjoy it. Like Megan Miranda only gets 3 and 4 stars, but she's like my newest favorite thriller author. I'm excited to pick up a 4-star book from her. And then I did read a few pages of the Supernatural Enhancements. I know more of the premise. So basically we have a main character, he and his friend who's a girl. It's not his girlfriend, but he already said it's gonna be hard not to fall in love with her, so we know where that's going. But they came over to the United States from I don't know where, it just said overseas. His cousin died, who I don't think he knew his cousin. He killed himself and left this big spooky house for him. We've just seen him talk to the lawyer about the house. It comes with a butler. His cousin, uncle, whoever it was, killed himself, and the butler disappeared. So they was already joking like, oh, the butler did it. But I guess the guy killed himself in the same way and in the same place that his father killed himself 30 years prior. So that's spooky and awful. But that's what I know so far. They're headed to the house. It's in Richmond, the Richmond, Virginia area. And they're going to the house. That's all I know. I saw a Goodreads review that said, did I tell you this already? I saw a Goodreads review that said it has National Treasure vibes. So, and I know one of the covers has like a maze as the cover with some like spooky eyes in it. So the gift is ready. Go pick up the balloons for the party and then we're going to like an indoor trampoline place. So it's gonna be with lots of children screaming and jumping, and it should be fun. And he's turning 6 years old, if you wondered. Why would you wonder that? You wouldn't, okay? You wouldn't. I've been reading the Supernatural Enhancements. I've mainly been reading it on my Kindle because I've been reading it at nighttime in the dark, so I'm fulfilling the read in the dark prompt. But also I wanted to check in with you because I'm going to make a hot toddy because I think I have a little cold or something. I have a little tickle in my throat, and I thought that would be a great treat to have this evening to like help me sleep and like make my throat feel better. And I realized that is a fall treat. So I'm fulfilling the other non-reading prompt. Very exciting. And I literally have not made a hot toddy since winter because it is not for hot weather, but I need it right now. So let's make that and I'll tell you about the book. Okay, if you don't know what a hot toddy is, it is an alcohol beverage to make you feel better when you have a cold. And mine also helps you sleep because I make it with sleepy time tea. Extra sleepy time. So, I'm gonna throw in a tea bag. Some fresh hot water. Knob Creek, which is it blasphemy to put this in a mixed drink? Probably, but that's all I have. Some lemon and some local honey. So, the book. I don't think we know the main character's name yet. So the story is mainly told in letters, notes, mixed media. Nothing like too fancy, but in those letters, he usually goes by A or refers to himself, like signs a letter off as A. He's writing letters to his Aunt Liza, who knows the girl that he's with, the mute girl, Nima or something. And their relationship is weird because I remember at the beginning he said she's someone you could fall in love with, but then they're like sleeping in the same bed and like, I don't know, living like a couple kind of. But then there is surveillance footage chapters where it's like an outside perspective transcript of surveillance footage at stores and things. And they all describe him as a young man and her as a kid or a child. So that's throwing me off. And she has like blue and green dreadlocks. They're saying she's a kid. I don't know. Super confused about that part. There's also like dream sequences where A is like writing in his dream journal about stuff. And maybe ghostly activity. Not sure yet. There was a part where he like saw a shadow in the shower and some light bulbs blew, but who knows if that's actually anything. The two of them, whatever their relationship is, they find a note from Ambrose, the twice removed second cousin, uncle, whoever, who committed suicide and gave him the house. And they're finding like stuff written in code and like something that he wanted the butler to do, but the butler never found the note. So now they're gonna look into. So they're investigating. They're wondering if he was in some secret society. They're wondering, I don't know, there might be a little treasure hunt. Well, remember I did say there's a review that said national treasure, so there's gonna be a treasure hunt. There's gonna be decoding. There's gonna be fun stuff, but also maybe ghosts, and also maybe a weird relationship. We'll see. Can you see me at all? Maybe. I just wanted to prove to you that I'm reading in the dark, but this probably looks spooky, but it is Summerween, so it's okay to look spooky. So I'm gonna read. I have my cup with me, also a cat. And yeah, I'm just gonna lay in the dark and hopefully get scared. Nothing scary has happened yet. Yeah, you know it's only 9:45 p.m. I'm in bed. Alexa, turn on the lamp. Ooh, ooh, so red. How do we fix that? I don't know. Oh, but also I wanted to show you that my pop socket on my Kindle, can you see that? Matches my bed sheets. Unintentionally. But so cute. Hello, how's it going? I'm back to update you about my book. No, I'm not finished reading it yet, okay? I've been mainly reading this on my Kindle still. But then sometimes I have to open the book because I can't see a picture. So I'm on page 223, which is 62% in. And it's really good. I think I'm in part 2 now. And it's such an interesting book because there is some paranormal activity, we think. But then there's also like secret society stuff. There's codes and encryptions, and there is like some weird science. It's not real science like in our world, but it's like a science idea that is working in the book, science. It's pretty good. The relationship I am still very weirded out by, because I was thinking maybe I overreacted. Like, can I not picture a guy and a girl sharing a bed, that sharing a very large bed in a spooky house just because it's a spooky house. But then they kissed. But then also they share an Aunt Liza, or at least they both call this person that they're writing letters to Aunt Liza. I don't know what's happening there. It's super strange, but I am enjoying it. One thing I don't enjoy, it's written with mixed media, which is fun and I have enjoyed before, and I have felt everything I needed to feel from it. But this mixed media, I don't feel as emotionally connected, which I don't really care about that, but I just don't feel as connected as I feel like I could with the characters. And then also something very dramatic happened and it was cool, but the delivery just didn't feel as impactful as it could have if it were written a little differently. So it almost feels like the way that it's written is just to like skip through some description and dialogue and words that maybe someone didn't want to write, which is probably not true, but that's what it feels like. And then a weird thing is I feel like this is, I have not read House of Leaves, but I feel like it is very, has a lot of similarities to House of Leaves, and House of Leaves references something that I won't tell you because I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, even though I haven't read it and I know this thing. It felt like a spoiler when I heard it, so I won't tell you. And this book seems to be referencing that too, which is weird. And you know, it's about a creepy house and weird stuff going on, and it's written in mixed media, and it's referencing this thing. So I'm wondering, were you heavily inspired by House of Leaves? I don't know, because House of Leaves was written in 2000 and this was written in 2014. So I keep reading that. This evening my boyfriend is coming to pick me up soon, and we are going to dinner and then to this candlelight symphony thing, which is at night in the dark in a church, no lights on, just candles everywhere, and the symphony is going to be playing classical music, Bach and a handful of other classical music, but then also some Beatles songs, but like string instruments. And just imagining that in the acoustics of a church in the dark, candlelit, like I have chills just thinking about it. Like, I'm so excited. But I was going to show you, I got an order, not from Barnes & Noble, but from a seller on Pango who used a Barnes & Noble box, and they had a newer release thriller that I'm super excited about. Sorry, I'm just crinkling and crinkling. The first book is Wish You Were Gone by Kieran Scott, which honestly I'd never heard of, but I wanted to buy a second book so I could get free shipping because I'm a cheapskate. For fans of the Netflix hit Dead to Me, which I love, comes, according to Megan Miranda, a captivating thriller. Wait, is this YA or is this her adult debut? Kieran Scott, I don't know. Emma Walsh's looks great on the outside. Marriage is at the breaking point and she's finally worked up the courage. Oh, so it's about a woman who's gonna confront her alcoholic husband about his drinking, his rages, his blackouts, blah blah blah, all the trouble he causes her and her 2 children. And then they're supposed to meet up. He doesn't show up, and then the next time she sees him, he is crumpled amidst the wreckage of his flashy car, which is lodged halfway through the back wall of their suburban house's roomy garage. So her and her children, I think is it even a thriller? Yes, captivating thriller. I don't know. It's about losing your husband, but you're not upset about it, like wish you were gone. I'm sure she does feel grief, but it's also like, you know, it solved a problem. I don't know. Hopefully that's like fun and twisty and not just like griefy. That's boring. Okay, but the book I actually wanted, Can't Look Away, which I just found out her name is Carola Lovering, and I've been saying Corolla for quite some time. This is about toxic friendship. Aww. A toxic friendship, and it goes back and forth between 2013 and present day. So it follows Molly Diamond, who in 2013 she falls for Jake Danner, who's in an up-and-coming rock band. They fall deeply in love. They live in New York City, I think, and a decade later Molly is teaching yoga, living in Connecticut suburbs with her husband Hunter, who is not Jake Danner. And then there's a newcomer to town who's obsessed with Molly. And what happens when life turns out nothing like we thought it would when we were young and dreaming big? Does growing up mean choosing with your head rather than your heart? And do we ever truly get over our first love? So I really enjoyed Too Good to Be True by this author, and I'm excited to read another thriller from her. I'm back to wrap up this vlog. I finished the Supernatural enhancements, but at what cost? I ordered a new Apple Watch and I knew it was coming today, so I decided I didn't want to move or waste my steps until my Apple Watch was here to record it, and I just forced myself to finish this book. There were parts of this book that I truly enjoyed, or thought I was enjoying, or enjoyed where I thought it was going, but I'm very disappointed. The book ended in quite the crazy whirlwind. There's some really weird stuff going on. I understood exactly what the book was saying, what it was doing, but it didn't all make sense. I don't get the logic. I mean, there were like magical things going on, but a bit illogical, and the haunted house served little purpose, and it was more about some other weird stuff. I don't even know what to tell you about this book. I don't like it. I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. 1 star for the parts that I did enjoy, even though they tricked me into thinking this was gonna be a good book. But I am personally offended by this book because we've been through so much together. When I purchased it, it smelled like smoke. I let it air out for years. We've been through a divorce together. We've been through me lugging it up to my 3rd floor apartment by myself. That may not be true. Also, I have an elevator. But still, we've been through a lot. I've had this book for years and years and looked forward to it for so long, and it really let me down. This is actually a great time to discuss dick lit. It is chick lit, but by dudes. And there are varying forms of dick lit. I'm so sorry for using that phrase, but it's so appropriate. These are both dick lit. They're books written by men with a male main character, and it's so self-centered, centrally focused, and also male heavy, that, I mean, it's dick lit. What can I say? The guy's the hero. The guy knows everything. He's the only one who can solve stuff, and women are just there to support him. This book has a female sidekick who is the definition of a manic pixie dream girl, and the author couldn't even let her talk. She is mute. We don't know why she was mute. It's not part of the story. It doesn't, nobody cares why she's mute, but it's like, it almost feels like a lazy excuse to make sure we don't get too much of the girl's opinion, the girl's thoughts. Her communication is very limited. She doesn't know sign language. She just like whistles and writes like cutesy little notes. The adult male main character becomes romantically involved with this 14-year-old girl, which I did not like. But also the author, like, I just feel like he just wanted to tell us, like, it's a girl, it's a child, it's a kid. Like, he was using those words himself, but like, we never discussed that that might be weird, that might be questionable, anything. It's just like, hey, he's with a child. And that the author really wanted us to know that, but not be able to do anything about it. The main character is self-deprecating, but like, Izzy, you know, he would insult himself in a complimentary way, or the author would insult him in a complimentary way. The girl, I'm saying the girl because her name's Niam, I don't know how to pronounce it. The male main character, his name is A. For no reason. We never find out why they call him A, or why we can't know his real name ever. But the girl sidekick insults the main character by saying he acts like H.P. Lovecraft. The only way that's insulting is like if you were calling him racist. But since she wasn't, how is that an insult to compare him to a literary great? Like, it's so ridiculous. And then the rest of the characters are just men everywhere, except like tiny minor roles. Now this book, male main character, he's the one who's gonna figure everything out. He's the one that can literally save the world, blah blah blah. But I give it 5 stars because even though the main female character, her whole character drive and stuff is because she has a crush on the man in a coma, which makes no sense, she still has a bit of her own personality, a bit of her own story, even though her role is very dependent on the main male character and supporting him. It was still an enjoyable story. But when you write a character, they should have their own character, personality, backstory, whatever. But I let it go in this book. Even though in the beginning of the book, when they find out that they need to go to Africa, or the army recruits them, the female opinion that they get is a woman who has like some words of wisdom, but of course she's telling them to him while she's standing naked, just naked for no reason, just because she can. And that's like stupid but forgivable. But 5 stars, 2 stars. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Dicklet, but it's a thing that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, just like Chicklet, I guess, but for very different reasons. So these are the 3 books I read for Summerween. I read a horror, Halloween colors, and a paranormal book based off last year's prompts. I made a hot toddy as my fall beverage, and I read in the dark on my Kindle. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm excited to read the next book on my TBR to wash this out of my brain. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.